Start your day with confidence by learning how to talk about your daily routine in natural English.
Stay with us until the end and speak English more fluently with...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Modern English Talk, the podcast where learning English feels natural, simple, and enjoyable. Let me ask you something before we begin today's episode. If someone asked you, can you tell me about your daily routine in English? Would you feel confident enough to answer, or would you stop for a moment and wonder which words to use? Don't worry if your answer is not really, because you are definitely not alone. Many English learners understand hundreds of English words, but when it comes to talking about their own daily life, they suddenly become nervous and forget even the simplest sentences. The good news is that by the end of today's episode, you'll know exactly how to describe your daily routine in clear, natural, and confident English, just like a real speaker.
That's absolutely true, Emma. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is thinking they need difficult vocabulary or perfect grammar to sound fluent. The truth is, native speakers often use simple words when they talk about their everyday lives. They simply connect those words naturally and speak with confidence. Today, we're going to have a relaxed conversation about our daily routines, and as you listen, you'll discover useful vocabulary, everyday expressions, and natural sentence patterns that you can immediately use in your own conversation. So instead of memorizing long lists of words, you'll learn English the way people actually speak it in real life.
Exactly, Alex. And here's a small challenge for everyone listening today. As we describe our daily routines, don't just listen quietly. Imagine that you're sitting here with us and think about your own day. Ask yourself, what time do I wake up? What do I usually do in the morning? How do I spend my afternoon? What do I do before I go to bed? If you can answer those simple questions in English, you're already making great progress. By the end of this episode, you'll have all the vocabulary and confidence you need to talk about your own daily routine naturally and comfortably.
So whether you're a beginner who has just started learning English or someone who wants to speak more fluently in everyday situations, this episode is made especially for you. Stay with us until the very end because each part of today's conversation will teach you something practical that you can start using today. Let's begin our journey and learn how to talk about our daily routine in English like confident English speakers.
Now that we've welcomed everyone to today's episode, let's talk about something that many English learners don't realize. Describing your daily routine might seem like a very simple topic, but it's actually one of the most important speaking skills you can learn. Think about it for a moment. When you meet someone for the first time, they might ask, "What do you usually do during the day?" In a job interview, someone may ask, "Can you tell me about your typical day?" Your teacher might ask you to describe your daily routine in class, and even during English speaking exams like IELTS or other interviews, questions about your everyday life are extremely common. That's why learning to talk about your routine isn't just another English lesson, it's a practical skill you'll use in real life again and again.
I completely agree, Emma. Many learners spend hours memorizing advanced vocabulary or complicated grammar rules because they think that's the fastest way to become fluent. But when someone asks them a simple question like, "What time do you wake up?" or "What do you usually do after work?" they suddenly don't know what to say. Fluency doesn't come from using difficult words. It comes from being able to talk naturally about everyday things. And your daily routine is the perfect place to start because it's something you already know. You don't have to invent a story. You simply describe your own life in English.
That's such an important point, Alex. Another reason this topic is so valuable is that it helps you build confidence. When you can comfortably explain what you do from the moment you wake up until the time you go to bed, you're practicing some of the most useful English sentence patterns, such as, "I usually," after that, "then I," in the afternoon, and "before I go to bed." These expressions appear in everyday conversations all the time, so mastering them will make your English sound much more natural and fluent.
And here's something I'd like all of our listeners to remember. Don't worry about speaking perfectly. Nobody becomes fluent overnight. The goal isn't to sound like a dictionary or memorize every grammar rule. The goal is to communicate your ideas clearly and confidently. Every time you describe your daily routine in English, you're training your brain to think in English instead of translating from your native language. That small daily practice can make a huge...
Exactly. So, as we move into the next part of today's episode, we're going to walk through an entire day together, from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. Along the way, you'll hear natural conversations, useful vocabulary, and real-life expressions that you can use every single day. So get ready, because our morning begins right now. All right, Alex, let's start at the beginning of the day. My morning is one of the most important parts of my daily routine because I truly believe that the way you begin your morning can influence the rest of your day. I usually wake up at around 6 o'clock in the morning when my alarm clock rings. As soon as I open my eyes, I try not to look at my phone immediately because I want to give myself a few peaceful moments to wake up naturally. Instead, I take a deep breath, stretch my body for a minute or two, and think about everything I want to accomplish during the day. I feel that starting the morning with a calm and positive mindset helps me stay focused, energetic, and productive throughout the day.
That sounds like a wonderful habit, Emma. My morning routine is a little different, but I also believe that having a routine makes life much easier. I usually wake up at about 6:30, and the first thing I do is turn off my alarm before it wakes up everyone else in the house. Then I open the curtains to let some fresh air and natural sunlight into my room because it helps me feel more awake. After that, I make my bed because I like keeping my room clean and organized. It may seem like a small task, but it gives me a feeling of accomplishment before the day has even properly started.
I completely agree with you, Alex. Making your bed is a simple habit, but it makes your room look tidy and helps you develop self-discipline. After that, I usually go to the bathroom to brush my teeth, wash my face with cold water, and get ready for the day. Then I take a refreshing shower, which helps me feel awake and full of energy. Once I'm dressed, I spend a few minutes checking my daily schedule and planning my most important tasks. I like knowing exactly what I need to do because it helps me manage my time better and avoid unnecessary stress later in the day.
Planning your day is definitely a smart habit. After getting ready, I head to the kitchen because breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I believe that eating a healthy breakfast gives me the energy I need to stay active and focused. I usually have eggs, bread, fresh fruit, and a cup of tea or coffee. While I'm eating, I sometimes read a short English article or listen to an English podcast for a few minutes. It's a simple way to improve my English every single day without feeling overwhelmed, and it helps me learn new words and expressions naturally.
That's an excellent idea, Alex. I also enjoy practicing English in the morning because my mind feels fresh and ready to learn. After finishing my breakfast, I usually spend 10 or 15 minutes reviewing vocabulary or reading a few pages from an English book. Even a short study session every morning can make a big difference over time. Then I gather everything I need for the day, such as my notebook, laptop, or water bottle, and make sure I haven't forgotten anything important before leaving the house. Being prepared helps me start my day with confidence and without rushing at the last minute.
Exactly, Emma. Before I leave home, I always take one last look around to make sure I have my phone, wallet, keys, and anything else I might need. Then I lock the door, take a deep breath, and begin my day feeling ready for whatever comes next. Whether I'm going to work, attending a meeting, or simply running errands, I always remind myself that every new morning is a fresh opportunity to learn something new, improve my English, and become a better version of myself. I think that's a positive mindset that can make every day more meaningful and productive.
Now that we've talked about our mornings, let's move on to the afternoon, because this is usually the busiest part of my day. After arriving at work or settling into my workspace, I like to organize my tasks in order of importance so I know exactly what needs to be done first. Instead of trying to do everything at once, I focus on one task at a time because it helps me stay productive and avoid unnecessary stress. Throughout the afternoon, I answer emails, attend meetings, work on different projects, and sometimes spend time learning new skills. I also make sure to take short breaks because I believe that resting for a few minutes helps me return to my work with a fresh mind and better concentration.
That sounds very organized, Emma, and I completely agree that planning your work makes a huge difference. My afternoons are usually quite active as well. If I'm studying, I attend my classes, complete assignments, and review the lessons I've learned. If I'm working, I focus on finishing my responsibilities before the end of the day. One habit that has really helped me improve my English is trying to think in English while I'm working instead of translating everything into my native language. At first it wasn't easy, but after practicing every day, it became much more natural. It's a simple habit, but it has made a big difference in my confidence.
That's excellent advice, Alex. I think many English learners believe they need several hours every day to improve, but that's not always true. Even during a busy afternoon, you can create small opportunities to practice English. For example, while having a short break, you can read a news article in English, watch a 1-minute educational video, or learn from 5 new words and try to use them in your own sentences. These small daily habits may seem unimportant at first, but over time they lead to remarkable progress because consistency is much more powerful than studying for many hours only once in a while.
You're absolutely right. Another important part of my afternoon is lunchtime. I usually have lunch with my colleagues, classmates, or family members, depending on where I am that day. During lunch, I enjoy having relaxed conversations because speaking with other people helps improve communication skills naturally. Sometimes I even challenge myself to use a few English words or simple English sentences during the day. It doesn't matter if I make mistakes because every conversation is another chance to learn, and I always remind myself that confidence grows through practice, not perfection.
I really like that mindset. After lunch, I usually return to my work feeling refreshed and ready to finish the remaining tasks. Before the afternoon ends, I spend a few minutes checking my progress and making a short plan for the next day. The simple habit helps me stay organized and reduces stress because I already know what I need to do tomorrow. I believe that ending the afternoon with a clear plan makes it much easier to enjoy a peaceful and relaxing evening without worrying about unfinished work.
Exactly, Emma. Whether you're a student, an employee, a business owner, or someone learning English at home, your afternoon is a great opportunity to improve yourself little by little. Every email you write, every book you read, every conversation you have, and every new English word you learn brings you one step closer to becoming a more confident English speaker. The secret isn't doing something extraordinary once. It's doing small, meaningful things every single day.
Now, let's talk about my favorite part of the day, the evening. After a busy afternoon, I finally return home, and the first thing I like to do is change into comfortable clothes and take a few minutes to relax. I believe it's important to give both your mind and your body a chance to rest after a long day. Sometimes I sit quietly with a cup of tea, listen to soft music, or simply enjoy a few peaceful moments without looking at my phone. Those small moments help me leave the stress of the day behind and prepare for a calm and enjoyable evening. Once I feel refreshed, I start thinking about how I want to spend the rest of my evening in a meaningful and productive way.
I couldn't agree more, Emma. Many people think that being productive means working every minute of the day, but that's not true at all. Rest is just as important as work because it gives us the energy to perform better the next day. When I get home, I usually spend some time with my family. We talk about our day, share interesting stories, and enjoy each other's company. Those conversations not only make me feel happy, but they also remind me that maintaining strong relationships is an important part of living a balanced life. After spending some quality time with my family, I usually go for a short walk or do a light workout to stay healthy and active.
That's a wonderful habit, Alex. Regular exercise doesn't just improve physical health, it also helps reduce stress and improve concentration. After relaxing for a while, I usually dedicate some time to improving my English. I might read a few pages from an English book, watch a short educational video, listen to an English podcast, or practice speaking by describing my day in English. I don't try to study for hours because I believe that even 20 or 30 minutes of focused practice every day can lead to amazing results over time. Consistency is much more important than studying for a long time only once in a while.
Exactly, Emma. One of my favorite evening activities is reviewing the new vocabulary I've learned during the day. Instead of simply reading the words again and again, I try to create my own sentences using each new word. This helps me remember the vocabulary more easily because I'm using it in a real context. Sometimes I even stand in front of a mirror and practice speaking English out loud, as if I'm having a conversation with a friend. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's an excellent way to build confidence.